Hi, I'm Dr. Salil Kandwala, the Medical Director at Advanced Urogynecology of Michigan. Welcome to our practice. Let me tell you what our practice is about. URPS stands for Urogynecology and Reconstructive Pelvic Surgery. It is a 3-year dedicated fellowship after a 4-year residency in obstetrics and gynecology, and I am the fellowship director at Corewell Health for this fellowship. First of all, let me introduce myself. So I trained in Baltimore, Maryland, did my residency and my fellowship there, and I in fact did my fellowship with one of the first urogynecologists in the country. I was one of the first in the country to get the URPS certification, and I have been practicing exclusively URPS or urogynecology for the past 20 years. And I'm the fellowship director now for the past 10 years at Corewell Health. I've graduated 2 fellows, Dr. Che Williams, who is in Georgia, and he's in fact the chief of staff at the hospital and a flourishing urogynecologist there, and Dr. Jason Cruff, who is in the Madison area in Wisconsin. My present fellow is Dr. Jacqueline Baratono, who's soon going to become my partner. I was also the first doctor to perform the single incision sling procedure in the world. I have an extensive experience in managing all types of these female pelvic floor conditions, and that too from the vagina without opening the belly or laparoscopically. I'm also the worldwide leader for the new technique called Intibia for the management of overactive bladder. This is soon going to be an office procedure and could help not only possibly with urgency and frequency and urinary leakage, but also possibly with bowel leakage. I have patented a unique technique called DIST, and we'll talk about that when we discuss stress incontinence management, and that essentially guarantees success. Most surgeons, even with the best of slings, have a cure rate of about 55 to maybe 85%, and 55 to 65% for the single incision slings, whereas we have a cure rate of 95% thanks to this technique. It also allows women to return to all their activities the very next day after the procedure. I'm the only surgeon also doing transvaginal synthetic mesh for pelvic organ prolapse as supported by the FDA, and we recently completed an initial study with the FDA and are about to start another one. I have one of the largest series of vaginal prolapse surgeries and have published extensively on this in our medical journals. I'm the medical director at Advanced Urogynecology of Michigan, which is our practice, and with me is my URPS fellow, Dr. Jacqueline Baratono, and my extensively experienced clinical team. In fact, almost all my clinical team members have been with me for over 10 years and have a vast experience of this field. So this is my team, and they're eagerly waiting to take care of you. What I'm not. Sometimes I'm labeled a urologist, but I'm not a urologist. My background training was OB/GYN, and then for the past 20 years, I've been practicing exclusively urogynecology. I do not take care of men nor kids, and as a gynecologist, I exclusively take care of women. You know, there are very few of us urogynecologists in the country, and even fewer who do exclusively vaginal surgeries. No robotics, no laparoscopy, no opening the abdomen. And fewer like me who do not remove the uterus for prolapse, but keep the uterus back inside. And fewer still who do a single incision technique, and only us who do the DIST technique, which has an extremely high success rate, if not almost 100%. So I've practiced this urogynecology for the past 22 years, and we consistently track and analyze our data so that we can provide you the facts through evidence-based information. And I've already mentioned some of the unique procedures that we do, which include the stress incontinence management, the Intibia, and being the worldwide only site to do the synthetic mesh surgery under the guidelines of a regulatory body. And we also have the fellowship that allows us to keep innovating. Our goal is really to empower women. And remember this fearless girl statue in New York City standing against the Wall Street Bull? It is time for women to break the ceiling. It is time for equality of care for women and men. It is time to stop labeling medical conditions like urinary incontinence as embarrassing. It is time to improve awareness of these conditions, and it is absolutely time to stop wearing pads and suffering in silence. Next up, do you know pelvic floor conditions are very common and affect 1 in 2 women, and they have a negative impact on the overall well being of the woman and her partner. But women wait about 5 to 10 years before they seek treatment. So let's find out about these conditions and how common each of this condition is.